everyone, Mama Mike here, and today is maybe a quick video. This will be going over my Xbox 360 games collection. There's quite a few here for me to get through, so I won't spend a ton of time on each one. And just also keep in mind, I rent a lot of my games on Gamefly, so a good amount of the games that I really liked, or that maybe I've talked about before, maybe I've traded them in or sold them, or maybe I rented them as well. But let's get right into it, starting with a gem of the 360 era. This is Kinect Adventures. I actually liked the Kinect quite a bit. Had a lot of fun on Fruit Ninja Kinect, and of course, Kinect Adventures. This was a really fun game. The little mini games in it were excellent. Did Kinect always work great? No, but it was still a lot of fun. And if I had more space and if I could more easily use the Kinect, I would use it more. When I first got the Kinect, I made it like a big deal to take it out and use it and everything. And while I still like the Kinect, I just don't have enough space for it. But maybe in the future, if I can have it out, well, the new Kinect, I guess, is what I'd play with. But I do still miss the Kinect, and I think I will use it more in the future if I have more space. Next is a game that I've played far too many times. This is Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year Edition. Bought this used at GameStop, as you can see. I'm pretty sure I had a coupon as well, so I got it even cheaper than that. But I've played this game so many times, I just can't get enough of it. I think it's my favorite of the Arkham series. It was one of the first Xbox 360 games that really wowed me. I mean, this game was just so new and different, and just when this game came out, I just remember everyone talking about it. It did so incredibly well, so I was very happy to be able to get the Game of the Year edition. Next, this is Virtua Tennis 4, just a really fun sports game to have easy achievements on, and this one was another one that you could play with Kinect. Next is another highlight of the 360 generation. This was UDraw Studio Instant Artist, which used the UDraw game tablet. I remember I rented Pictionary from Gamefly to play on the UDraw tablet, and that actually was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. And this is a good amount of fun, although it has these horrible mini games that are just impossible to play. Somewhere the UDraw game tablet is kicking around, and hey, this is another fantastic THQ game. Next, this is Naruto Rise of a Ninja. There's going to be probably quite a few Naruto games throughout this video, and this is one of the first games in the series of the Naruto games that were coming to 360. Next is the first copy of Gears of War 2 that you will see, because I have, I believe, 2 copies of this game, because the Horde mode no longer worked for me, and I was very upset, and so I thought maybe it was the game disc that was wrong, and it's actually that like my online profile is corrupted, it'll never work again. Woohoo! Oh well, I really liked the Horde mode on Gears 2, but I believe they are bringing some of those maps to Gears 4, so that'll be fun. This is just a quick look at what was in it, because this was the limited edition one. I picked this up at GameStop for $2. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes they just have these crazy deals. And what was in here was Beneath the Surface, an inside look at Gears of War 2. So this was an art book. And where is it? There's somewhere, I think it might be in the steelbook. This was, which way do you hold it? It's all so shiny. This was the steelbook edition, and on the other side had the front of the Lancer and then the back. Oh, okay, yeah, it's probably supposed to go this way. It's just all so shiny. You open it up, and there's really cool, it came with a picture of Dom and his wife Maria, and then on the back of it, it says, "If you always have me with you." So, I'm not very good at reading cursive. "So you always have me with you. I love you, Dominic. Always, Maria." And it's written like it's handwritten. Really cool, very haunting sort of piece of memorabilia. It did come with a manual and of course the game discs over there. But I picked this up. I think what was missing was the soundtrack. There were supposed to be 2 discs in here, and somebody traded this in with everything except the soundtrack. They must have really liked it, but I just couldn't believe the deal I got on that for $2. It was just insane. It was something I said, I can't pass that up. Next, we have got The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition. And actually unboxing this was one of the earliest videos on my channel back when I had my old setup. But This is just a really cool edition of The Witcher 2, and if you're interested, if you've played The Witcher 3 and you want to go back and play this one, I definitely recommend it. Comes with a game manual and everything. Just a really nice package, and then it's also got a map in here as well. Next we've got Perfect Dark Zero. I didn't really like this game very much. I really tried to like it, but I did not, so I never even like printed a case for it. Usually if I get a case like this, I'll print out the artwork for it, and I didn't even bother. I just wasn't really into it. And next, here it is. This is another copy of Gears of War 2. Like I said, I was trying to get it to work. I owned the game digitally. It wasn't working anymore when I played Horde. I decided to buy the game on a physical copy, and I think this might have been $1.98 or something. It didn't work, and then it was later in time, now I remember completely. Later on, I was just at GameStop, saw that limited edition Gears 2, and just bought it because it was so cool, even though I already had the game. Okay, and next we're gonna go to the Hidden Leaf Village for a few games in a row here. We have got Naruto, The Broken Bond. Excellent game. Really recommend this one if you haven't played it yet. If you like the Naruto games, this is a really good one. We have got Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, and like this is what I was talking about. These are games that I printed out the artwork myself because it didn't come with a case. So that's what I'm talking about. If I like a game enough, I'll print out the cover art for it because it looks nicer that way. But Perfect Dark Zero did not get that treatment. Next, this is Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations. Another one that I printed out the artwork for. And then lastly, we have got Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. Alright, that is one stack down, 2 to go. Next we have got Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. This is the complete collection. It's got Borderlands, all 4 add-on packs, and the fold-out Pandora map. And I miss getting games that had the maps with them because it feels so heavy. You pick this up off your game stack, and it just feels so heavy. It's got all the discs, it's got a manual and a map inside, and oh! I was about to say, do you remember when they used to have the flippy out cases? Well, that's why they don't have those anymore. You open it up and they fly right out. There we go, good as new. But this is Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. I am still hopeful that we will someday get a remake of the original Borderlands game. It is my favorite of the Borderlands series. I love those games. This one's my favorite, and this is the one that I want them to do a remake of. I'm still hopeful that maybe that'll happen. Next is Gears of War Judgment, starring my favorite character, Damon Baird. This is Baird's story before he is all grouped up with Marcus and Dom and Cole. This is what happens to Baird before all that. I remember when this game came out, there was like a wicked bad snowstorm, and I didn't think I'd be able to go pick it up the day that it was released. This one says limited time offer, includes code for original Gears of War for Xbox 360. I was so excited for that. I remember calling and making sure that it would be the one that had the code inside because they didn't put it in all the games. This was just a really great memory going to pick this up in a snowstorm, and I really liked this game actually. I know a lot of people say it's not one of the best Gears of War games, and maybe it isn't, but it's still a great game overall, and because Baird is my favorite character, it was awesome to just have a whole campaign of Baird. Next is my all-time favorite Call of Duty game. This is MW3. I just loved the maps in this game, and it was so much fun. Gun game. This is the first Call of Duty that got me into gun game. I just fell in love with it. I remember just on my days off from work, getting on the mic, playing with a friend. It was just so much fun, and this game just has some of my favorite multiplayer maps of any of the Call of Duties that I've played. Next is my all-time favorite game, This is Red Dead Redemption, and I am of course so ecstatic at the announcement that they'll be making another Red Dead game. Of course it got delayed, wasn't shown at E3 or anything, but I'm still very excited for the next Red Dead title. This is indeed my all-time favorite game. I could do a whole video just talking about how much I love this game. If you've never tried Red Dead Redemption, it's an excellent story. The shooting, the guns in this game, some of my favorites of any game I've ever played. It's just such a well-rounded out experience, and this game is so good. The side missions are good. It's just a fantastic game start to finish. If you have never played it, I highly recommend it. Next is Gears of War 3, and this might be my favorite game in the Gears series. I do really love this game. It's got some of my favorite missions. It's just such a memorable title, and when this game got released, I just remember playing it non-stop. It was so much fun, and the Horde mode, it's just so refined. It had improvements upon Gears 2 Horde, but it still was very simplistic. I really liked the Horde mode in this game, and I could just play it for hours. Even now, I go back and play this one if I want to play Horde. Next is Borderlands 2. I always really liked the cover for this game because it's like embossed, so it's neat. It's got the texture on the letters. I really enjoyed Borderlands 2. It had a lot of new things that they built upon from the first game. I liked the new characters a lot. Overall, I think it's an excellent title. The first one is still my favorite, but I thoroughly enjoyed Borderlands 2, and I think on terms of quality, it and the first game, in terms of story and everything, they're right on par with each other. The sequel is just as good as the first game. Next, this is Dragon Ball Raging Blast. I really wanted to try some of these DBZ fighting games, but my goodness, they're so dense. There's just so many combos and things to learn, and having, being in the air and things for it, it is really difficult. These games have a pretty weird kind of learning curve to them. They'll give you like a 2-hour tutorial, and then you're just off and running, and like the first mission is as hard as some boss fights are in games. They're a real hoot to play, but oh my goodness, are they difficult. Next, this is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. I said I had quite a few Naruto games, and now you're seeing all of them. But this is just another one that actually had the original case. I was very happy about that. Next, this is Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise. This is one that I couldn't find the cover art for, but I adore this game, and later on we will talk about my love of Viva Pinata, the original Viva Pinata game, but this is the sequel, Trouble in Paradise. I got this for my birthday one year. I was really happy to get it. These games just bring me so much joy. Next is the Saboteur. I really didn't like this game very much. I played it. I actually got pretty far into it before I had that feeling of, why am I still playing this game? Something about it, it just didn't grab me. I really liked it at the beginning, and I liked where the story was going and everything, and then I don't know what happened. Something changed. I don't know. I just never finished this game. But the cover is really cool. I never traded it in or anything because I told myself I'll go back and I'll finish it at some point. And maybe I will. I probably won't. But I also don't think I'll ever get rid of it. Next, this is Bulletstorm Epic Edition. Oh my goodness, how I love this game. It is cheesy, it is over the top, the humor is so juvenile, but my goodness, all of that makes for a really fun game. If you haven't played this game, it's the same studio that does the Gears of War games. You'll see a lot of similarities between the two games, but it's got a very futuristic element to it. You have some really cool weapons and abilities in this game. Like I said though, the story, very juvenile, a lot of potty mouth jokes in it. That's the meat of the story, really. But it is such a fun game and just a really good time to play. And next, this might be one of the biggest gaming disappointments I ever had. It was one of the first games to really disappoint me in a way I just couldn't even understand. This is Homefront. And the idea behind this home is where the war is. It was so cool. Here it is, a war game on American soil. this is just a really great idea and the cover. Just look how cool it is. This looks like a great game, and I wanted to enjoy it. I forced myself to play it. There was a point where I really was enjoying the game. I liked it. I liked where the story was going. It was good. I was motivated to play it. And then we got to a certain point where the game, it suddenly felt like they rushed it. It felt like this game, that the later levels weren't as good as the first levels in the game. Almost like they kind of hook you with those first levels. And then as the game goes on, it almost felt just rushed. It felt incomplete. It felt like there just was something with these levels that wasn't quite as balanced or tested. Something about the later levels in the game just felt off. And so this is a game that just was a real disappointment to me, and I was very, very unhappy with it. But once again, it looks really cool, and I still kind of like the memory of it. I was still very excited about this game, so I keep it in the collection. But overall, it was kind of a bummer. Alright, and now we have moved on to the last stack of games, starting off with Lego Indiana Jones. Another one that I liked this game quite a bit, actually. I love the Lego games, but I did not end up getting the cover art for this one, so it's just in that very nice GameStop/EB Games printout, so it shows how old this one is. Next we have got LA Noire. Now this game I really, really enjoyed. I never played it through a second time. I went around for a while, trying to get extra achievements on it and things, trying to pick up some of the collectibles, never ended up finishing those. There was a lot of collectibles in this game, but I really enjoyed this game. It was excellent from start to finish. The story, a lot of people said the story was a little bit boring, but I'll say it is a slower paced game from Rockstar. If you're used to Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto, this game can seem a little bit slow moving, but it is a detective and investigation game, so it kind of goes with the territory of it is an intense story, and when you really get into it and it gets its hooks in you, it's a really haunting story. This is a game that when you play it through, you'll think about it for a while if you play it through to the end. But I understand when people say it's a little bit slow to get into it. It's also a game where if you want to have the most fun with it, you might end up just using a guide, because sometimes the clues you have to find are really difficult, and it's a matter of if you don't find them all, your case will fail. The game kind of just, stalls. You'll get to like a stalemate with the investigation. If you really want to enjoy this game, but you want to run through it quickly, just, use a guide. There's no shame in that. It's an investigation detective game. It's slow moving, but if you really want to enjoy the story, there's no shame in using a guide for it. Next we have got the Angry Birds Trilogy, and this one says it's better with Kinect, but oh, it is not. This game's definitely better with a controller, but this was actually quite a bit of fun, and the leaderboards were really cool because there were a few times that for a little while I would have like #1 in the world on one of the stages that I completed, and I was like, oh my goodness, I got the best score in the world. It was really neat, actually. That never happens to me. Maybe I'm like an Angry Birds prodigy or something. But this was a really fun title. I was very happy that they brought this to the 360 because I liked this game a lot on my phone. And then playing it with the controller and everything was actually a really good time. Okay, next we have got an extremely beat up copy of Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And this is the Xbox 360 Platinum Hits. And then on the other side is Viva Pinata, the original game. Now what happened to this game case? I honestly can't tell you. I don't remember at all what happened to it, why it is so destroyed. I can't answer yet. I really don't know what I did to it. I just don't remember at all. But on the inside, we've got Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which is completely unplayable. It has got that beautiful ring around the rosy scratch all the way around because my 360 one day was not working. And so I, in all my wisdom, was trying to just gently lift it up because I wanted to check if there was any dust under it. I couldn't get it to shut off or anything. It was just completely unresponsive. And I forgot that there was a disc inside. It happened to be Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. In my opinion, I'm glad it wasn't another game. You know, it's not the worst loss in the world, but I got that lovely ring round scratch on it. But then on the other side, we have a beautiful working copy of Viva Pinata. I actually have the guide for this game, like the Prima guide, the book, because I really got into this game. It was so much fun, and I just love the Viva Pinata games, hence why I got Trouble in Paradise for my birthday one year. But yes, I have no idea what happened to this poor game case, but Banjo-Kazooie, rest in peace. I still have you though, just haven't buried you yet. Next is a game that I will say is a guilty pleasure. This is Sega Superstar Tennis. If you haven't played this game, it's actually a really good tennis game. It's got these really fun mini games that are based on classic Sega games. So there's like a Space Harrier game. There's a lot of games in here, a lot of mini games that are based around older Sega titles, Sega classics. It's just a lot of fun, and of course it's the tennis aspect of it, but oh my goodness, if you go online on this game, there's still people playing it, and they are like masters, just absolute masters. You'll get destroyed if you go on there. But it's actually a really good tennis game, and it's fun to be able to play as your favorite Sega characters. Next, this is Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty City. Loved this. Oh my goodness, this was actually my introduction to the Grand Theft Auto series. The first Grand Theft Auto game I ever played was this, and it was The Ballad of Gay Tony. A friend of mine kept telling me, you have to try Grand Theft Auto, and I just thought, I've never played them before, I don't know where to start. And I went over their house one day and we played this together. I was hooked. I had no idea that those games would have such a good story. And so then we played The Lost and Damned after that, but Ballad of Gay Tony, wow. What a game! And it's just an expansion on, Gears of War 4, but it's, Gears of War 4 on Grand Theft Auto 4, but it's two complete games on one disc. It's essentially building upon Liberty City from Grand Theft Auto 4, but wow. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. If you're a Grand Theft Auto fan and you haven't tried these before, I definitely recommend these. And Ballad of Gay Tony was my favorite out of the two titles, but Lost and Damned was also really good. My only, reason I don't like that game as much was because I'm horrible at driving the motorcycles in Grand Theft Auto, and The Lost Dam, that's what the whole thing is, you're a motorcycle gang. And so it features a lot of motorcycle driving, and it's just very difficult for me. Okay, the next three games I'm going to show you were the Burger King games for Xbox 360. So first we have got Sneak King. The majestic master of sneak invites you to go behind the mask. In this game, you are indeed playing as the Burger King, the greatest mascot of all time. I really don't know why so many people didn't like him. And you have to sneak around people's homes and work sites and deliver food to them. If that sounds as excellent to you as it does to me, I do have gameplay of this on my channel. It is a lot of fun. And I picked these games, I think I got all three of them on eBay for $10. All three of them as a bundle for $10. So really affordable games if you can find them. The next one, this is Big Bumpin', and this is a bumper cars game. 6 characters, 5 arenas, 1 goal, to smash you to smithereens. And this is quite a bit of fun as well. I think Sneak King is my favorite of the Burger King games, but Big Bumpin' is also fun as well. And the last one, this is Pocket Bike Racer, and this is just a racing game featuring the King, Whopper Jr., a few other beloved Burger King characters. It says the excitement of pocket bike racing without the lower back pain, and it's very comical the entire time because they're all playing on the little pocket bikes. You can see the King, his knees are like way up in the air, and his cape is flapping in the breeze. You've got Whopper Jr., and it's a guy in a hamburger suit on his tiny motorbike. It's hilarious. This game actually will just make you laugh, and it is a pretty good racing game. Alright, we have 2 games to go. We have got DJ Hero, which I enjoyed quite a bit aside from the terrible hand cramps. Oh my word. Because this came with the type of the DJ turntable thing that it had the buttons on. It's somewhere in my home. But it had the buttons on it and you pretend to spin it and you got the faders and whatnot. But unfortunately, this was definitely designed for a man because my hands were just too small, because the way I'd have to have my fingers spread for the buttons, and then after playing it for like an hour, my hands just wouldn't work. I would just have the worst like hand and wrist pain. I think I might have been beginning to get carpal tunnel from that game. It was excruciating. So as much fun as it was, I ended up hanging up my hat in that game pretty early. And this is another game that the achievements, my word, some of them were really good, but they were odd number achievements. So you get an achievement that suddenly your gamer score ends in like a 1, and you gotta go fix it and make sure you get another achievement that goes with that one. It was fun while I played it, but my goodness, I don't know if it was worth the pain and suffering. And lastly, we have got a game that really wowed me, and a game that still stands out in my mind as one of my favorite 360 games. This is Max Payne 3. The online for this game, I'll talk about the story in a moment, but the online really wowed me. I did not expect to enjoy the online on a game like this, because I played through the story first. The story was phenomenal. It was a story like I'd never played before in a game. It was just so good. And this is another game, the guns and everything, excellent, absolutely perfect. I loved the variety of guns that were available to you. I loved how they played. But then I tried the multiplayer, and because what was happening was the servers were getting taken down, and I wanted to get some of the multiplayer achievements. Yeah, I actually never had tried it until I found out the servers would be taken down in like a month, and I said, I'll finally give it a try and get some of these achievements, and I instantly regretted not playing it. But it's because to me this game was all about the story. I honestly just wasn't interested in the multiplayer. If I wanted to play multiplayer, I would hop on a dedicated multiplayer game. I regretted it so quickly, never trying out the multiplayer sooner. I played it for hours and hours until those servers were taken down. It was so much fun. I just couldn't get over how much I enjoyed this game, and met some great people online trying to get achievements together. But this game, absolutely phenomenal. If they ever brought this to the next generation consoles along with the multiplayer, oh my goodness, I would just be in heaven, because Max Payne 3 is a game that I just could not get enough of. So that was a quick as I could look through my Xbox 360 games collection. Let me know in the comments below which of those games really stood out to you, or which one of those games was your favorites, or which games I didn't have that you really enjoyed from the Xbox 360. I just realized now that I left out a few games that were featured in my GameStop haul video recently, because I just realized that where they were in my home, I just completely forgot to grab them. But those would have been Spec Ops: The Line, Eternal Sonata, there's a couple other games, I know I'm forgetting them, but the rest of my 360 collection, because I just picked them up recently, you'll see that in my most recent GameStop haul video. I could put a link to that in the description below, but it just hit me that those 4 games were missing. Oh, Enchanted Arms. Okay, it was Eternal Sonata, Enchanted Arms, Spec Ops: The Line, and there was something else. I think it was another Naruto game. I just can't get enough of those, as you can see. But like I said, let me know in the comments below what your favorite 360 games were. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!